And can you remember a little while back when a bloke called Gormer waltzed into the BBC headquarters, probably hoping to ace a job interview and potentially get some of that good old TV licence money spent on himself and his wages? Well, if not, fate had other plans, and before we could say tech whiz, he got thrust onto the airwaves discussing IT matters, even though, of course, he, from what I've heard, didn't exactly have a bloody clue what they were asking him, as I'm guessing he probably, had the tech expertise of your great Aunt Maureen. He looked like a deer caught in the headlights, struggling to keep up with the technological jargon, while viewers around the world sat back and thought, this is for real. It's kind of like accidentally becoming the lead actor in a blockbuster film, but reciting lines from a completely different script. But now let's just address the big elephant in the room, and no, I'm not talking about my girlfriend. I'm talking about Gormer's sudden urge to sue the very network that turned him into an unintentional star. The thing is, Gormer, how can you expect to sue or even be paid when you presumably never even whispered, hey, I'm just a regular guy, not a tech wizard? It's like showing up for a superhero convention, getting mistaken for the keynote speaker and then demanding a speaking fee, isn't it? It's just absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. Not that I'm on the side of the BBC, of course, but surely I'm on the side of common sense. And Gormer's threat of legal action is, to be honest, making me scratch my head a bit. Is the BBC's hiring process so topsy-turvy that they can't even ask someone, what's your name and why are you here for? I mean, if their conversational skills were any more absent, we'd have a nationwide search party looking for them, wouldn't we? And let's just not forget, of course, the cherry on top of the cake. Gormer plans to pen a book about this whole thing, aptly named Wrong Guy. It's like the universe has handed the title on a silver platter, isn't it? And if the book becomes a bestseller, maybe we should all write about our life stories, with titles like Accidentally Awesome or Oops, I Did It Again. Although, to be honest, I kind of think the last one was taken by Britney Spears a while back. But anyway, the article says that it's been 17 years since Guy Gormer was somehow mistaken for an IT expert and interviewed on the BBC News. He is now threatening, of course, to sue the broadcaster. And in 2006, Gormer immediately became a viral sensation when he unwittingly found himself being grilled live on air, despite entering the BBC offices for a job interview. The thing is, though, he was waiting in the reception area of the BBC television centre while the actual IT expert, Guy Kenny, was waiting to be led to the studios in another waiting room. But when Gormer's name was called, he just assumed it was for the job interview, but minutes later, of course, he was on our televisions around the world, having absolutely no knowledge of IT whatsoever. Gormer clearly looked panicked as he tried to power through the discussion with presenter Karen Bowerman about a legal battle between Apple Computers and the Apple Corp's record company. And Gormer was completely clueless, but did predict music would be released online only, with of course the exception of vinyl and the resurgence of the cassette popularity is basically true. And on YouTube alone though, the blunder had over 5 million views, but was one of the most popular stories across all social media. Gormer then became one of the most recognisable faces in the UK, but he's now said he hasn't received any royalties from the BBC, and he wants a slice of the money that they made from the interview. They've been using it for nearly 20 years, with no penny to me, he told hosts Josh Peters and Archie Manners. And when I see they are paying people millions here and there, that clip made them richer. Gormer, of course, who now works for a charity helping people with learning disabilities, added that he plans to write a book about the whole incredible case of mistaken identity, aptly named Wrong Guy. Metro.co.uk, shameless plug for you there, has contacted the BBC to comment on this story.